how do you increase warehouse productivity? I'm Greg Schenkel, President of Unique Training and Development and Frontline Leadership Systems. And in this Leader Feeder, we're going to look at 4 myths and 4 facts that can really help you run a more productive warehouse. Let's start with myth number 1. Automation is the only way to increase warehouse productivity. Well, that's a myth. And in fact, I think all executives and warehouse managers think that if we just buy this piece of technology, it's definitely going to increase productivity. Probably in the same way that I think in my personal life, when I just buy this gadget, it's going to suddenly help me be better organized. That may or may not be the truth. So the fact is, while certain equipment is necessary and can improve throughput in a warehouse, it doesn't necessarily solve the problems by itself because there's a lot of human behavior involved and human interaction with those pieces of technology. So you can sometimes generate more or better cost savings without the capital investment by simply interacting with your team in a different way. Myth number 2, increasing productivity requires expensive capital equipment. Now, I know we already talked about automation being one of the things that would increase warehouse productivity, but the other thing is people will invest a lot in the capital equipment, whether they be forklift trucks or automated picking systems. And again, they can yield some benefit, but the problem is that if the people simply were to enact lean management principles or clear organizational practices and train their staff, they may in fact yield as good or more productivity increases than simply increasing their capital spending. Myth number 3 says that warehouse productivity really comes at the sacrifice of safety. And the fact, of course, is that safety and productivity are not mutually exclusive. I've certainly seen supervisors in our training program when there's a new safety protocol or more stringent guarding requirements, the first thing they think is, this is just going to make my job more difficult and I'm going to have trouble hitting my numbers. But most of the time, that's just a preconceived worry or belief. And in actuality, the safety practices basically add to productivity because now instead of being extra cautious about something, maybe there's something that is now preventing my injury to begin with, and so I can focus on doing my job. Plus, we know that when an organization focuses on safety, it's probably the number one thing that it can impact employee morale in a positive way because it shows that the organization cares about them and their well-being. Myth number 4 is that outsourcing is the only way to increase warehouse productivity. Now, outsourcing definitely has its place in terms of an organization's decision of what to do internally versus what to source out to someone else. But it isn't the only way to do it. In fact, if we had other measures like streamlining our flow and looking for bottlenecks in the operation, or utilizing the right amount of technology and automation and using staff training and just better staff SOPs or standard operating procedures, we might find that we could actually run a more lean and efficient warehouse on our own without necessarily having to subcontract that out to a third-party provider. Remember, when you do outsource, you're outsourcing, yes, the costs, but you're also outsourcing the profit margin on that. And so in some cases, it definitely makes sense to outsource. In other cases, you'd be better to actually improve your operation internally. So those are 4 myths and 4 facts on how to increase warehouse productivity. And of course, the leadership strengths in your operation really make a difference to whether you're extracting maximum performance from your existing equipment and personnel. And that's where our frontline leadership program comes in. Whether we come on site to work with teams of people at your location, or if they're all on different shifts and there's not enough of them to form a group, maybe you switch to our virtual training studio for delivery. Or if there's only 1 or 2 people who need development, then our public workshops or the Frontline Leadership on Demand program may indeed be the solution that you're looking for. It all starts with a conversation on our website at uniquedevelopment.com. And when you connect with our team, they will help you seek out what is the best solution that will help you achieve your organizational objectives.